Welcome to the King Phoenix tutorial. So in this videos we are going to see about C tutorials. So we are going to use the editor called Turbo C editor. So let me start it first. So once you start editor, you will be getting a screen like this. So this is the editor. So I'm going to start a new file. So as this is the first session, we are going to start with basics. So let me first type a introduction program, then I will explain you the parts of it. So this is an introduction program. So before running this program, let us save this file. So I'm saving it inside Turbo C bin. I'm just renaming the file to C. So after typing and saving the file, here we have a compile option. So compile the program. Once you compile, it will show if there are any warnings or error. So since there is no error and warning, we are going to execute the program. So here the execution is called run. So now we won't see any output in this Turbo C because it does not wait for the user to give any interaction. If you want to see output, just give a get ch so that it waits for the user input. So save the file. For saving the file, I'm clicking F2, which is a shortcut for it. Recompile it, zero errors, then run. So if you see, we have two different hello world. So one hello world was printed in the previous execution and the next was executed in the current execution. So now it is waiting for any character to be printed by the user. That is why we are given get ch command over there. So this is the command which helps us to make the screen wait so that we can see the output. And this command is responsible for printing any string into the console. Here the console is screen. And if you see printf, so this is some kind of a keyword or a command we use in a C. So this inclusion, this is called including header file. That is why it is an extension header file. So this header file has been included so that the C compiler can understand how to work with the printf command or printf function. And any C program should start with the main function. So this is going to be the starting point of your execution. So your C program might contain many functions, but the compiler starts only from main program. So without a main program, you cannot have a C program being executed. So this is the introduction. So this is the main parts of your C program. So on further classes, we'll go deeper into it. So welcome back to the King Phoenix tutorial. So now we will see about datas and variables. So first we'll see what is the data. So in any program, not only in C, in any program, we're going to have these two things: data, variables, and we will also have operations and operands. So what is the data? Any information we are going to store or any information we are going to use for any manipulation is called data. For example, a student mark 55 or a student name Ashok. Anything is going to be data. If it is going to be a string, we will be giving it inside a single quotes. And variable is that whatever data we are going to store, it's going to be stored in the memory of the RAM, or simply memory, in some address space. So since we cannot remember all the addresses in the memory, we are going to have a denotation for it, that those are called variables. It can be any character or a alphanumeric. For example, A, B, C. And a variable also denotes the memory as well as the what type of data it is going to be. If it is going to be just a number, it can be either a int or a float. Integers for a whole number and float is for a decimal point. Then if it is going to be a character, we're going to use a char. So this is just a pointing to some address in the memory so that we can easily refer to the data. And operations are that what is the work we are going to do with the stored data. We can add it, subtract, multiply, divide, or we can do any file operations or any database operations. Then operands are the symbols which used to denote the operations like plus, minus, multiplication. File open does not have any symbol, it has a keyword. So now we'll be seeing the basic data and variable. So in this example, I'm going to add two different program numbers. Requires a starting point. I'm typing a void. So regarding this void, we'll see it in further classes. So I'm going to add two whole numbers. So I'm going to declare it as an integer. So int is the keyword for integer. Int A, B. After adding, I'm going to store them in another variable called C. So this part is called declaration. After declaration, I'm going to initialize the variables. That means I'm going to give an initial value to them. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 15. Now I'm going to add them, A plus B. After adding, I'm going to store them in C. So now let us print the answer. Answer is C. So another important thing is that clear screen. So clear screen is used in Turbo C so that the previous execution result which are stored in the console will be cleared so that we'll get a fresh console. So I'm going to save the program, compile it. So we have one warning. So regarding this warning, we'll see it in few minutes later. So I'm going to execute the program. So it is printing answer is C, but it is not printing what is the value in C. Let us see why it is so. So whatever we give in print statement inside this double quotes will be taken as it is. The C is not considered as a variable, it is considered as a normal character, so it prints the C. So if you want to make the compiler to take it as a integer variable, so we could not mention it here. We should first say that here we are going to have an integer value, so the C compiler allots the space to print some integer value. So what integer value we are going to print? After the double quotes we are going to mention it. I'm going to print C. So now the compiler understands that I'm going to print an integer value from C variable into this part. So we're going to save the program, recompile. So now you will not get that warning because now is the only time we are going to use the C variable. Previous time we are not using the C variable, so we got the warning called C variable was not used. So I'm going to execute it. So you got the answer 25. So 10 plus 5 we are going to get 15, 25. So this is the basic. So now we have seen how to add two integers and print an integer. So now we will see how to print a float as well as how to print a character. So let me erase the old content. So I'm going to declare an integer and also initialize in the same line. Of float B 10.4 and also character C. A character can hold only one letter at a time. So I'm going to save it. So for printing an integer, integer is percentage %d. So now the integer has been stored in variable called a. So the float, for float we are going to use f. So it is stored in b. Character is c, and also it is stored in variable c. So I'm going to save it. So let us compile it. So there is no compilation error. So let us execute the program. So integer is 10, float is 10.4.0000, and character is a. So if you see, everything has been printed in the same line. So if we want to give it in a new line, so we're going to add a /n. So it is a special denotation which says that start the sprint in a new line. So let us compile it again. So no errors. So we are going to run it again. So now everything comes in a new line. Thank you.